The US dollar is in a period of deterioration. You know that the petrodollar status is being lost slowly, incrementally. Saudi Arabia is now selling oil and currencies other than the US dollar. And the petrodollar is very closely linked with the world reserve currency status because oil is the most popular product of all bought and sold around the world. So if oil trades are being done with your dollar, there's a need or a demand for US dollars. There's active de-dollarization among quote unquote our enemies between Iran, Russia, China, South Africa even. A lot of big shifts in the world right now, a lot of big shifts with the US currency. The deterioration is not going to a dead end, but it is a trend where it's going to become more and more and more, kind of like termites eating out the support beams of your house. You might not even notice it, or frogs in a pot where we're all going to die by boiling, just sitting in the water. There will be a lot of effects where the US dollar declines in value because of the deterioration, less use of it, less reliance on it. And that's going to make anything that you buy with US dollars, which is most commodities, for example, seem to cost more. It'll take more US dollars to buy the same amount of the same commodity. Imports will also cost more for every American when the US dollar becomes less valuable. You want to be the wealthy country, getting a lot of great imports for really low prices. That's the period of the last 50 years that we've enjoyed. But that period is coming to an end, and the people who adapt to it and adjust to it and learn about it and make the right decisions are going to land on their feet on the other side of this, where a lot of their people are going to be getting completely blindsided by this deterioration of the US dollar. Nothing in this video should be considered as personalized trading advice for you. The Peter Leeds YouTube channel is about you, your financial understanding, your financial opportunities, the risks to avoid. This is where you learn all about it. So if you subscribe, you'll get more of this information as we build it out and present it to you. I always say that the economy is like a set of lungs. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you breathe out. That's why there's always recession and periods of expansion. Expansion, recession. You can only breathe in so much before you have to breathe out. That's why recessions always happen. That's why it's preposterous for anyone to ever suggest that we will not have a recession. It's a matter of when would the recession happen. And you see share prices declining, you know that's a reflection that there's less demand or money moving out of that investment. Shareholders or investors are not thinking that it's as valuable or worth as much. And then when they do think the shares are worth a lot more, you'll see money moving into the space being manifested or reflected by the increase in share prices. But that's why people always say that investing is complicated, they get freaked out by it. It really isn't complicated at all. I think when people get confused is that they see a company trading at $23 and they think it's more valuable or a better company than another corporation that's trading at $8. But it depends. It depends. All other things being equal, yeah, the higher priced company or shares are probably believed to be more valuable in the eyes of investors. But it's based on how many shares out there are. So there could be one company that's trading at a lower price with 15 times the number of shares, and that company is actually worth more than the higher priced company. This is what a lot of investors get absolutely burned by, while others make a whole ton of money from it. So follow me here. When there's a rumor something great's going to happen, people tend to buy it ahead of time, drives the price up of the shares. And when the event actually happens, a lot of times the shares will decline in price, even though it's a good event. The great example I always give was the merger of XM Satellite Radio and Sirius. When they were going to merge, the prices of both of them started going higher and higher and higher until they actually merged. And then immediately after that, in a very short amount of time, the share price dropped about 90%. Think about that in terms of any buy the rumor, sell the fact event. Everybody's buying up the investment because they think something great's going to happen until when it does. That's why when good news comes out, the shares don't go higher. They've already been driven up. And then when the news comes out and there's nothing else on the horizon to keep the share price elevated like a volleyball, the share price comes down pretty quickly because other investors start going, this is done now. The move is over. The big news I was waiting for has happened. The share price absolutely tanks. Buy the rumor, sell the fact plays out all the time.
Peter Leeds has been a paid contributor for Forbes, About.com, and Investopedia. He has also been featured in Business Excellence magazine and has had content published on the blog for the Congress of the United States.